Hello guys, welcome back to another great episode of Go Vote Annapolis. I'm your host, Carmacel Brown. Some know me as Cell Spitfire here in the city of Annapolis. I'm here in the wonderful Ward 2 today with our candidate, Karma O'Neill. It's great to see you and
Thank you.
get a chance to interview you. Can you let us know to start off, what is this location and why did you choose it?
Coming to Annapolis really was a turning point in my life. I left a place where I really couldn't find a job. I came to Annapolis, got a job, met a lot of people, moved to several different jobs. I've lived all over the city. I lived downtown, which was great. I lived in Eastport. I lived on the other side of Forest Drive. And when we had children, we moved to Annapolis, or to Admiral Heights. As far as what I've met a lot of people from all different areas, all different walks of life. And it's really helped me see how much Annapolis brings to the people and the people bring to Annapolis as far as culture and diversity and just meeting all kinds of people that want to help, volunteer. I've done a lot of volunteer work in Annapolis.
Great. So with your time spent here and all of the great years that you've been here, what do you feel like has developed to your greatest strength for this position to run for this candidacy?
I really love to collaborate. I think that's my biggest strength, is bringing people together. When we see a problem, instead of just complaining about it, I get a group of people together and work to solve that problem.
So with collaboration and you having such a versatile group of friends and all of these people that you've met, how do you plan on communicating with not only the people that you already connected with, but the rest of the city with your messaging and your plans and goals?
I think communication is really important. I would like to see us better that communication through better newsletters, through town halls. There's some aldermen in the city that have started town halls, and that really seems to work. It gets people talking, and when you get people talking, you get them collaborating. So really increasing the communication piece. Working to meet the neighbors where they are, going to their houses, walking down their streets, and really collaborating with them to find out, do you know about this program and how can we better get those programs out in the community?
So for the people that don't know you, how would you describe your leadership style and your personality when it comes to being in office?
I'm a very open book. I am a go-getter. I love to bring people together. I like to make connections. My leadership style really is pulling people together and starting from the top and saying, let's see how we can build. So getting the right people in place to do everything from building a playground to bringing better services, better food services to people that are in need.
Nice. So what committees do you think best fit the talents that you have?
I think the Human Welfare Committee would be a great place for me to start, the Health and Human Welfare. I also am very interested in the transportation. I think transportation provides a lot of the things that we seem to be lacking, whether it be walkability, sidewalks, crosswalks, as well as water access. That's kind of falls into the transportation. And because if you can get on the water, you can get anywhere.
All right, so just bringing the elephant in the room question, why do you think you're best fit to win this position here?
I think my long history in Annapolis. I've been here since 1995. In Ward 2, I've been here since 2004. I've put down roots. With my children in school, I've had a lot of interactions with the school, with my work in the community, volunteering for different organizations out throughout the city. I think that I bring a good background to really represent the people of Ward 2.
We've had a few questions come in from community members in your ward. They wanted to address concerns or questions. Residents have been complaining for years about the lack of sidewalks in the area of Cedar Park Road and Wendell, which is located right down the street from us. Over the time, more children are using the road. Can you get it done as far as adding more sidewalks to the street?
We've been working tirelessly, even since my children were little, to try and address that problem. We've been told time and time again that it's just not possible with our street. There is a temporary solution coming. I think that temporary solution will kind of show us exactly what we can do. I hope that I can work towards getting funding. Apparently that is the biggest hurdle to getting sidewalks in our ward and in other parts of our ward.
What can be done to root out the causes of crime, and what is your plan?
My plan for crime, my hope is that we get a better police presence, and not just people driving down the streets, police walking beats like they used to, really getting to know the community residents, and I think that will help all of the city of Annapolis.
Sounds like a wonderful plan. So I want to get into more questions, but we have a lot more locations to check out in your ward, which I'm excited to do.
Great.
So we'll be right back with you guys in a minute, and we'll have more questions from Ms. Karma O'Neill of Ward 2. So we're back at another great location, as you can see in the background, very relaxing. Can you tell us a little bit about where we are and why this is another location you chose?
Sure, we're at the brand new being built Robert Eads Memorial Park. It used to be the College Creek Terrace Park. I chose this because it's a fine example of the city revitalizing a park in our city for the use of all of city residents.
Can you describe not only this park and how great it is, but can you describe the ethnic and racial makeup of the ward in general? And what are the specific issues relating to the demographic makeup of your ward?
Sure. Our ward is very mixed, very diverse. In parts of the wards, like this part, this kind of the Clay Street area of our ward, I would say it's predominantly Black and Hispanic. It's the old Fourth Ward, so it's one of the oldest neighborhoods in Annapolis. And you move out a little bit further and you've got the area between here and Taylor Avenue. It's an unyet named neighborhood. I know we've been talking with some residents about really creating a neighborhood atmosphere and naming that part of our ward. You have Admiral Heights, primarily middle class. It was built in the early 60s and 70s. And then you have Germantown Homewood, again, one of the older neighborhoods in Annapolis, middle class, upper class. You move over into West Street and you get a little bit less diversity, but definitely an older neighborhood that has a really nice mix of commercial and residential. And then you get into Wardour, which is waterfront housing, and a little bit more exclusive, but all community-oriented people.
Finishing it off for our diversity section, what would you do to advance understanding in your ward and city around race, ethnicity, and sexual orientation for people who may not be familiar with a person of another race or another gender?
I think we should continue to build on the parades and festivals and activities that we've started, continue to open those up and encourage everybody to come out and see. You know, the Kunta Kinte Festival has been going on for many, many years, and it's this huge draw of people from not only the city, but all over the state and country. Sometimes people come in. I think that's a great festival that everybody should have an opportunity to go to. Annapolis started the Pride Parade a few years ago, and what an amazing day to go out and see. There's people, you know, giving out mom hugs to anybody that wants one. We couldn't do that last year, obviously, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity to do that again. The more we know about each other and the more we mingle with each other, the better off everybody is and the happier we're going to be, because living in unity is much better than living.
So I think we covered a lot of great questions, grilling questions, very informative that the people wanted to know. So I'm anxious to go and see this last location and move forward. And we have some great questions from some community leaders and members that had some concerns.
Great.
But so we're gonna go ahead and go to the next location and look forward to that.
All right, look forward to it.
All right, guys, we're back at another great location here in Ward 2. Ms. Karma, can you let us know where we are and why is this another location that you chose?
Sure, we're at the Naval Academy Stadium, just inside the grounds. I chose this because I walk here every single day. I walk from my house around the stadium. I meet all kinds of people from all sides of the stadium, and it is a great public-private partnership. It's a nonprofit that owns the space. The communities are all able to use it, and I love it here.
And just moving into the questions, we have a few questions about city and ward issues. From your opinion, what are 3 issues that you hear about in the city, with one of those issues being in your ward, and how do you plan on fixing those?
I think the 3 biggest issues are budget and taxes. I think that environmental also comes into play, And I think safety is a huge issue. All of those kind of are city issues and ward issues. As I'm out and about talking with people, I think the main issue for the ward is really the safety, transportation, and that falls under the walking safely to school, having crosswalks to safely walk across, as well as, the safety of the surrounding areas. We talked a little bit about, having a better police presence, working more closely with the police to bring them in to the wards, into the neighborhoods, so that they're known people. They're people, not just the uniform. I keep going back to that because so many times you say, oh, police, that uniformed person, and you don't say, oh, Sean, that policeman. Yeah. And I think that we really need to work really hard in the city and in our wards to work on the walkability, creating sidewalks, bike paths for people, as well as crosswalks, safe places for people to walk. Right now, it's really hard to get to this stadium from some of the spots. You have to walk way down and out of your way to get a crosswalk. It kind of goes into the city too. It's not just a ward issue. To get from here to the city, there's ins and outs, there's places where there's no sidewalks, there's no place to ride a bike, and really working on fixing those holes in our system.
Great answer. So there's also been talk about some of the housing disparities that we see that challenge certain people here in Annapolis. How do you plan on rectifying some of those housing issues?
There is a huge disparity between that. I would say in Ward 2 we probably have the biggest gap between the wealthiest homeowner and the least wealthiest homeowner. It's probably the largest gap of the whole city because of where our ward sits. I would really like to see homeownership being pushed, whether it's affordable housing that we're giving opportunities for, bringing in things like Homes for America or Habitat for Humanity to really work with people to work towards homeownership. The workforce development and the workforce housing is a key part that we need to look at. It's happening all over the United States in bigger cities and smaller cities, and we're kind of behind the ball on that. So I want to work towards bringing that in, maybe changing some of the zoning, so instead of single family, it's double family or quadruple family spaces to better give more opportunity for home ownership. That kind of adds to the issue of our budget problems because it starts to add to the tax base, which is a good thing because we need to find more sustainable revenue.
Another question that was posed, and this one is pivoting from more so schools and summer activities. On beach weekends, traffic spills into West Annapolis, affecting access for shoppers in the West Annapolis Shopping Center. What can be done, and what is your opinion on that subject?
One of the things I think that we can do is, again, bringing in the police force. There's lights, there's people that run the lights in hopes that they're going to get 2 inches ahead. Bringing a traffic control in to make sure that the lights, aren't clogging up the area. So
we've answered some great questions today. We've covered diversity issues, we've covered city issues, ward issues, and we've also visited some great locations. We checked out Germantown Elementary, we checked out Robert E's Park, and now we're here at the Great Naval Academy. I just wanted to close out with you giving us your elevator pitch of why do you think you're the best candidate, why people should vote for you, and just your well wishes.
Thank you, thank you. I'll say this, I'm Karma O'Neill. I live in Ward 2. I've lived in Ward 2 for 17 years. I've raised family here, 2 children here, and I have a business that I own and operate here in the ward, small business. I plan to help Ward 2 by bringing the community together, communicating, collaboration, and working hard to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to know about what services the city offers, as well as taking the opportunity to grow and expand. When everyone is great, we are a better people. Thank you so much, and I hope you vote for me. September 21st is the primary, and November 2nd is the general election.